Wits Professor Graham Alexander joins me now to discuss this as well. Professor, good morning to you. Thank you for coming in, albeit slightly somber conditions, talking about an animal that has gone on and claimed the lives of two young people as well. Let's talk about the animal first, African rock python. You and I talking off air, two different kinds as well. We need to be careful about that.
Yes, Gareth. Recent work has shown that the large pythons in Africa are actually made up of two species, the northern python and the southern python.
And what do we tend to see in America? What are the ones we would normally find there, do you think?
The most common one in America is the northern African python.
And what do we know about that? Is it generally a dangerous sort of snake if it's left unattended? Can you keep it as a pet? This was found in a pet store, for example.
Well, I mean, they're not venomous for a start. It seems to me that this snake has probably been imported as an adult, and so therefore it's probably been caught as an adult in the wild. In which case, I would say that it's not an appropriate pet.
I imagine it wouldn't be. What sort of size can a northern African rock python get to, if that is indeed this particular species?
Yeah, most of the work that I've done has been on the southern African python. They say that northern African python get a little bigger than southern African pythons. Southern African pythons, the breeding females are sort of just over 4.5 meters. So you can have a snake that's about 55 kilograms. And those snakes can eat meals that weigh as much as themselves.
Well, this is exactly, it seems, what we've now witnessed. We were going to use the word attack. I'm not going to use the word attack. This snake seemed to have escaped from a pet store and then got its way up through a ventilation shaft into this apartment. Is it realistic that these two children could have been killed without putting up a fight, or how would the animal have almost stalked the boys in this case?
Certainly it surprises me. It's happened before where people have had large pythons as pets and ended up dead because of the python. But this is an extremely unusual event. And a snake like an African python, if it was defending itself, it would strike and bite, but it wouldn't constrict. Now, these boys were constricted, evidently, if they were killed by the snake. And there's a bit of a rider there. They haven't done the autopsies yet. I'd like to know what the cause of death was before I was too certain that it was the snake that caused it. For example, if it fell out of the ceiling, like some of the information tends to suggest, it's possible that it could have fallen onto the kids and maybe even some of the ceiling fell.
But in the past, are there records of, obviously it would hunt small animals, and you mentioned up to 55 kilograms for the southern African rock python. Is it beyond the realms of reality that it could constrict two small children like this?
It certainly is strong enough to kill them. And if the boys were sleeping, it could have surprised them. It's even possible that it constricted them at the same time.
The other question now being asked, of course, apart from the animal killing these two children, is the control of the animals, the importing of the animals, selling them as pets. You raised it yourself. They are rather large pets, gone are the days of a good old poodle. Should these animals be kept as a pet anywhere in the world, apart from people such as yourself, perhaps, who know how to handle them?
I certainly think that these very large snakes can be dangerous, and there should be restrictions on that. I mean, my objection to importing exotic reptiles comes from a conservation point of view, not so much the pet trade. Because importing these foreign species, we have the potential that they can go feral, and there are a whole lot of problems that can follow from that. But America has been extremely lax with this. There is something like 250 species of feral organism in Florida alone. And they've got big problems with Burmese pythons and so on. And I know this happened in Canada. But yeah, it is an unusual event.
Do you think it's time for it to be controlled more?
I certainly would say so.
Well, Professor, thank you very much for coming in. Indeed, it's also giving us your insight. I certainly know more about them now than I did a few minutes ago. Professor Graham Alexander, snake expert, joining us here on eNCA. It's just gone 10:15. Here are your headline stories.
News that moves. eNCA.com.